What about Edith?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, the recording started, which I'm sure you can tell now.
I can. I saw the timer start.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's been so long.
So I was at brunch the other day.
Okay, work. Yeah, tell me about your brunch the other day.
I was at brunch the other day because my team won our volleyball game, and we always go to brunch after. And one of my teammates showed me Grinder, their Grinder, and there was a message from someone. And this is not identifying information. Don't worry, no names, no nothing.
You're just gonna dox someone right on the podcast.
This is how the conversation went on the Grinder. My friend hadn't responded yet. He just received messages. It said, "Hey, what's up?" And then there were 3 butt pictures.
Okay.
Each one with different underwear on, so it looked like, different photos.
So not whole.
One of them, it was a little spread open, and you can see what was going on the inside. But 3 individual photos of butts. It's the same butt, presumably. All different underwear. We had I think maybe a jock strap, a thong, and another thong.
Right.
I said, great. I said, you have fun with this. And then we moved on. And then later I looked at Grindr, and I had a conversation come in that said, "Hey, what's up?" and 3 photos of butts. And it was the exact same conversation.
The same man?
The person just starts every conversation that they're interested with, just, "Hey, what's up? Here's my butt," 3 times.
I mean, if if it is a tried and true strategy, he's probably, gone through a couple of different experiments, different strategies, come up with some samples. And
I'm sure he has a lot of samples.
He probably found a lot of data that suggests that opening works really well.
But his opening, I'm sure, does work very well. Have you ever taken a hole pic?
No, I haven't. I know you have, and you never sent them to me.
I never did, and I never will. But it's actually not that bad to take one. It's more so you're always worried about how it's going to be received.
Oh, so it's the trope of it being difficult to get a phone up and take a whole pic. It's not really a trope anymore. I guess I've seen it in one piece of media.
Oh, and I know what you're talking about. My OnlyFans. If you have a mirror, if you have a full length mirror or just a mirror low to the ground, it's very easy. And then if you don't, you have to do a little stretching. You need to move your arm a little bit behind you and really center the camera, but it's not hard. It's not hard.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
I had to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult would you say it is? 10 being really difficult.
To take a whole pic?
Yeah. Oh,
it's okay, well, if taking a dick pic is a 1 because it's very easy to take a dick pic, it's probably a 5. There's some moderate difficulty, but it's not hard. It's not like taking, a photo of the back of your knee or something, which I guess would be taking a photo of any part of your body is not that hard. If you have a mirror, you could really do anything.
Okay, work. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the What Do the Gays Think podcast. I am one of your hosts, MacLeod, and today with me I have my pretty pink Pat. How are you doing, Pat?
You used your full government name again.
Yeah, I usually do. But how are you?
I'm tired. I've done everything that I possibly can do. I've used up every minute of every day.
Okay.
your poor camera, by the way.
Oh, is it gone again?
Yeah, it's gone again.
Oh no.
But your face you're making is very sweet. It's very cute.
Well, let me see if this works. Hang on. I'm going to stop my video.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start my video.
Oh,
nope. Well, for those who watch on the YouTube, this is just how it's going to be for now until I can figure out why my camera is just stalling repeatedly, which I haven't figured out. I have moved to a different location, aka a different home.
Yes.
Which I don't know if we've gotten into. We've been gone for a while. It's been a while.
It's been 2-3 months.
2 or 3 months, yeah, since we've done one of these recordings. Yeah, I was in the process of moving, so basically decided to take a break until I figured out that whole moving situation. but we're back.
We're back.
It's been quite a while, and
Yeah.
apparently I'm having technical difficulties. So
Well, it's it's a new house. The ghosts that live there are probably messing with the wiring as usual.
very possible, or like the way that I've set up the wiring in the new house is incorrect. I have a new desk as well. It's a very nice setup. I've got an
It's too bad
L-shaped
we can't
desk.
see it.
Yeah, well, only the people who were watching on YouTube anyway could have seen my camera regardless.
Yes.
So if you want, if you're a podcast listener and you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, and you want to see this moment, go check out our YouTube at Pride Empire to see my camera frozen.
Yeah, we'll see Matt and Glorious. I would say that's 520 HD display.
520 HD.
Yeah,
Interesting.
HD's nuts in your face.
No, no.
No.
So Pat, where have you been today?
Oh, today. Well, I woke up in Queens and I said, I need to get out of here. So I woke up in Queens and then I got myself back to Jersey City. And then I was like, oh, right. My friend wants to go to the Bronx Zoo. I have to go to the Bronx now. So I basically went from Queens into Manhattan, into Jersey City, back into Manhattan, all the way up to the Bronx, to the zoo. And I had a lovely time.
Great. I think have I been to the Bronx Zoo? That's like one of the only ones in New York, right?
It's the largest for sure.
I think I want to say that I've been there, but did I go to the aviary like you did? I don't think so.
I mean, it's in the zoo. It's kind of hard to miss.
I don't think I don't think I took a trip into that particular area when I was there.
Well, you missed out because they have a lovely collection, girl.
I know you looked like a Disney princess with your little birds.
My budgie.
Your what?
Those birds are called budgies.
Oh.
Tiny little colorful birds called budgies. And we had one. It looked like albino because it was like white feathers but red eyes. So I was like, is it albino? I can't tell. It was a huge cunt. So basically, every time a bird would come to my stick, because we had little sticks with like seed on it.
Yeah.
Not my seed, someone else's.
Also not your dick.
Yeah, no, not that. The birds were not eating millet off of my cock. The albino one, would swoop in and like knock the bird off of this little like popsicle stick that had the seed on it. And I was like, okay, there's enough to go around, girl. But she was fun and festive, and I like that about her.
Oh, literal Disney princess.
What did you do today?
Today I got back on my productive train, started doing a couple things. I've been very not productive these last few weeks during this move. But I have to start going back to work tomorrow. So I decided to get back into shit that I'm supposed to. I have this like new scheduling app that I'm trying out to schedule my day for me and keep me on track.
Right.
Because I'm really bad at that and I have ADHD. Should we spill the tea?
ADHD's nuts. Yeah, we could spill the tea.
Okay, let's spill the tea.
Yeah.
What social cultural topics do we want to talk about? I've got a couple. Do you have anything on your mind?
Well, did we talk about Troye Sivan? Well, actually, we should save that for the other segment. We should.
We could save that for the gay news segment.
How about you start? You start.
Okay. Well, apparently Attack on Titan ended today. Did you hear about that?
I don't care, but go on.
Well, the anime ended. Okay, I'm sorry. So now I feel that we can talk about it. Actually.
Yeah.
I think we've spoiled the whole thing already. So maybe not.
No. Well, okay. Spoiler alert. We're gonna talk about Attack on Titan and how it ended.
Yeah. Well, so the anime finally ended today. I thought that I don't remember where I heard this. I thought that they were going to go for like a full-length feature film to end it.
Yeah.
But no, apparently it was just like a two-parter. And that second part aired today. I haven't watched it. I'm really interested though to see how they animate the big giant skeleton.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't 2 parts. It was like 18 parts.
Okay, yes.
It was like, well, it was like we have Attack on Titan season 4? I guess it was considered season 4.
Yeah.
We've got 6 episodes or whatever, and then it's all right. Now we're getting part 2, and now we're getting part 3, and now we're getting the final like end part. And I was like, girls, I know you want to milk this for all it's worth. I get it. You're edging, but eventually you've got to finish, and thankfully they
Yeah.
finished.
I mean, to be fair, it is a lot of content to go through. So
Yeah, it is.
I think it ended up making sense that they, well, not not that they split it up into a million parts, but like the length that it ended up being for the final season, I think made sense. They didn't have to do this whole let's split it up into a million parts and edge you for 3 years for season 3 until
Well,
we get to the or season 4 until we get to the end.
yeah, I think there's a problem at large in the anime community where animation companies are forced to produce a season's worth of content under a short amount of time, which does not
Mm.
allow for the best animation quality. So I am happy that they took their time, because with how complicated the set pieces were in this final season, you need a lot of time to animate them and to animate them well. So I don't care about the timetable. It was more just so annoying that they kept saying this is the last part when they had 2 other parts planned. And I was like, just at the top say, hey, because this started, I think the last season started last year in 2023.
Well, first of all, it's 2023 now.
I mean,
So
2022. Sorry, I think it started. Listen, it's almost 2024.
yeah.
Horrible. I think it started in 2022 is when the season started, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, it could be. You know what? I'm not even sure.
So if they had just said, let's just say, for argument's sake, if they had said in 2022, hey, we're animating this last season of Attack on Titan that will close out all the rest of it. We're gonna release, you know, an estimate of episodes or an estimate of parts at the top, and just say this is gonna span over the next year because we need time to animate it. I'd be like, sure, I don't care, do it,
Yeah.
no balls. But I've seen some of it. I've seen clips on TikTok, and it does look well animated, and I wasn't surprised by that.
That's good. I need to go watch it because I would like to see how they animated that final part.
Yeah.
But I think we've already explained kind of our feelings on how it ended because we read the manga. We went through that in a previous episode.
Yeah, we
I think
did.
we both kind of expressed. I think you expressed more disappointment in the ending than I did. I thought it was okay. I can't remember, but yeah.
It was okay. It was an okay ending. I just the hero having to force himself to be a villain so everyone bands together. It's something that we've seen before, so it wasn't exactly novel. And
Mhm.
I actually I don't know if I necessarily like that trope. I don't think I do. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel right in my bones, but I think it makes sense how it ends. Like it makes sense.
Yeah, well, makes sense, I guess. Though I don't know how they could have ended it other than the way that they did.
Also, Mikasa like being in love with Eren never hit with me.
Yeah.
I never understood it. I was like, this doesn't feel like romance. This girl, this is something like happened in Naruto where the author just doesn't know how to write female characters. And you could say that he really knew how to write Hanji, but like Hanji's character was never informed by her gender, which was nice,
Mhm.
but you know, Hanji could have been any gender. It really didn't matter. But like having the love dynamic between Eren and Mikasa, where one of them is a woman and one of them is a man, to not have that sort of inform the character at all was weird because it just doesn't. Also, like she's subservient to him because like her clan was subservient to the royal bloodline. So there's also like a question of like
Oh, yeah.
have consent. Is she just controlled by him basically? I don't like it.
I I think that it ended up not being that. Like Eren told Mikasa that to kind of trick her into
Yeah.
being like, you have to do what I say because that's our bloodline or whatever. I
Yeah.
think it ended up not being that though.
But I don't
Um,
like that. I don't.
that he tricked her or that there was
I
that whole
don't like.
bloodline thing.
I don't know. I don't like the Eren Mikasa relationship.
I think that a lot of media suffers, especially. I don't want to call Attack on Titan a children's show. There's other children's shows that exist that kind of suffer from this, like one character is obsessed with the other character and the other character does not reciprocate, and they somehow end up together at the end anyway. I think you
Yeah.
mentioned Naruto being one of them.
Yeah.
Another one at the top of my head could be Aang and Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender, where Aang is basically obsessed with Katara and Katara does not reciprocate throughout most of the show, maybe a couple episodes. and then they end up together at the end. I don't know. Like, I think there's something weird about that dynamic.
Yeah, I think it's I think it always shows a lack of planning on the author's part. Because some people will just start throwing in a relationship into a plot, even though it's not necessarily necessary. I don't think the Aang and Katara relationship is necessary for the plot. I don't think Eren and Mikasa like loving each other is not necessary. I mean, loving each other in a romantic sense, I don't think is necessary for the plot. I think there's love for them based on like a friendship, familial area, but like it doesn't have to be romantic. So writers will kind of throw in romantic subplots in where they're not necessary, but then they don't write them well, and it's sort of just like it's like an eyesore. It's almost distracting. It's like this wasn't necessary, but and if you wanted it to be in here, you should have written it better. It should have been something actually believable.
Right. And I think that I think you're right that it doesn't have to be romantic, the Eren and Mikasa relationship, but the Mikasa having such a strong tie to Eren and then having to kill him at the end was important for the plot.
Yes.
But it didn't have to be a romantic connection. You're right in that it could have been just like a familial, they grew up together. They have always been kind of together, and Mikasa was always protecting Eren. I didn't think it had to be romantic at all.
Like, look at Armin. Like, Armin realizes at the end that he also has to fight Eren, and they're not romantic, but they're best friends. They grew up together. It just could have been the three of them were super great friends that just love each other, and it's upsetting to see your friend, turn into the world's biggest dick. Oh, literally.
Literally. Oh my god, do you think the founding titan has a dick in all of that?
In all of that, yeah, you'd have to part the bones to see it.
You part the bones.
Do you want to see these bone titties?
Yes, please. Also, speaking of Avatar, unless you want to have any other thoughts on this,
I don't have any thoughts on it.
I don't have any thoughts at all.
No.
We also got, this was a while ago at this point, but we haven't talked about it. We got a view of the Avatar cast for Netflix's live action The Last Airbender. Did you take a look at them?
I did.
How do you feel about the way that they look?
I think Azula looks too young.
Okay, so tell me more.
But beyond that, they look great. Like the clothing looks great. Everyone looks. The guy who plays Uncle Iroh, I love the actor. I like all the actors, like the main actors who are playing like the recognizable characters. I don't really know who the young actors are, but the established ones I do. But Azula looks too, not even just young. She looks too. She kind of looks too young and cute. Like she does. Like she looks a little too young and cute. Azula in the show, even before she gets all manic at the end, like she was more intimidating. And maybe the actor will obviously act intimidating, but she looks a little young. She looks like a baby almost with that baby face.
Right. I mean,
and Azula is older.
I'm looking at the photo right now. Well, Azula is younger than Zuko.
She is?
Yeah. By a few years.
I thought she was older. Oh, right, because she doesn't. Yeah. She's younger.
Zuko's like, I think 16 in the story, and Azula's like 14. So she's not that old.
Interesting. Then maybe I guess it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I don't think the age is the issue, but I do agree that she does look not as intimidating as Azula does in the show, but perhaps her acting will kind of rectify that.
Yeah.
Also, I found it interesting that they cast her even though she doesn't appear in, at least in the show, until season 2. But this is going to be season 1, so I wonder how they'll incorporate her.
I think they'll probably be more. I'd assume they're probably going to do more like Azula Zuko interactions earlier on to get a better sense of their family dynamic.
One criticism that I saw online, which I kind of agree with, is that Zuko's scar is not big enough. At least in the picture that I'm looking at right now, the scar is relatively small. But in the show, the scar is like the whole, what is it, left or right side of his face? Like one side of Zuko's face is basically completely scarred in the show. But this picture, it just looks kind of tiny.
You know what I'll say to this?
Yeah.
And I'm a nobody. I don't know. Honestly, it may just be like a makeup thing.
Yeah.
Like, do we want to spend 8 hours a day applying this realistic burn makeup to all like a huge part of your body, or are we just going to apply it to part of your face, like a small part of your eye? I mean, this I'm not too worried about.
It's true. Yes.
I'm happy it's there. Obviously, if it wasn't there, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, that's clearly not right.
Yeah. I think the criticism comes from like, I don't want to say like trying to make it a little ableist. People are saying that like the scar being like half of Zuko's face is really important for his character, and it's like the first thing you obviously see upon looking at Zuko. Whereas in this scenario, if you're just looking at this picture with the tiny little scar, it's almost like not as important to his character anymore because it's so tiny.
That's gonna depend on how like scenes play out in the show, like because it's commented on in the animated show, his
Yeah.
face. So like as long as those conversations are still being had, and as long as it's still a like a symbol of like disgrace for him early on in the show,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine. But yeah, if it's sort of like a non-issue, then it becomes a bigger problem.
Yeah. I just it's like a defining feature for Zuko, and it like means a lot to him, even though eventually he overcomes it.
Yeah.
And it's an important part of his character arc. So I'm speculating about what the show is going to do, but I shouldn't because we don't know.
Love Uncle Iroh though.
Uncle Iroh looks amazing.
Love it. I love the actor
Ozai
too.
looks amazing.
Yeah.
I don't really care too much for Admiral Zhao in general.
Well, I mean, he's more of just sort of a nuisance. He's not really he's just annoying, honestly.
yeah. I mean,
Really annoying.
maybe the addition of Azula will like give us some more cool antagonists. We'll see.
Honestly, yeah. Like, could we have him die really fast and then Azula just kind of takes over his initial role?
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. I was also looking at the episode list for Avatar, and I was interested at the like because there's only 8 episodes, but they're like hour-long episodes.
Yeah, for
So,
season 1, I'm guessing.
yeah, I'm interested how they're gonna flesh it out because they're probably gonna focus on smaller storylines and make them longer and flesh them out more, but also skip over other things. So I'll be interested to see what they do. Anyway,
can you flesh me out?
You got any more tea to spill?
Let me think. Tea to spill. I mean, Diablo 4 has a expansion coming out next year.
Oh, and Overwatch has a new hero.
3 new heroes.
Yes, but I guess one new hero that we could actually play. Which have you tried it? Have you tried him out?
No.
Well, I think he's terrible.
Oh. I don't see that for me. I don't see myself playing Overwatch. So
okay, just in general, we've given up.
I think I might have. I think I've turned.
You've turned a new leaf.
Yeah, I think my stomach turned.
Okay, work.
When I think about Overwatch. I saw the second hero though. The second hero looks cool. I would play that hero.
Oh, the Diglett.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they make a Gurren Lagann reference because of the drill.
Drill me.
Yeah, drill me, drill me, and fill me.
I'm not a big fan of the new hero that we just got to play though. Mauga.
Yeah, Mauga, Maui. What can I say except I'm not that great of a hero?
Oh, D4 expansion.
No information about it. Really useless teaser they gave. No offense, Blizzard, but you really just shit the bed again.
Oh,
I think after some underwhelming post-game content for D4 and how many players dropped off after beating the main campaign, I think it would have been nice to have shown a little bit more. The only thing we know is that it comes out late 2024. It's going to focus on Mephisto. We know the continent it's in, like the region, and we know there's going to be one class that's never before seen. And I'm just thinking to myself, because I think they want to do a few expansions. I'm like, okay, this could be like good if they every 2 years they drop an expansion routinely. I get it, but at least show something, because if it comes out late 2024, That would mean it's going to come out like what, in a year?
Yeah, late 2024. Yeah.
So they might not even. It might be out before BlizzCon, like next BlizzCon. So like, what are you gonna do? Show like this was the place to like get people really hyped for it.
Well, oh god, end of next year. I don't even want to think about 2024 right now.
How about 2025?
Project 2025.
What's that?
I'm gonna be honest. I am not up to date on the latest in that political world. Unless you want to talk politics, I got a couple things we could talk about.
Yeah, but I don't know what you Project 2025. What is that?
Project 2025. Again, I don't know the specifics, but it's this thing that a lot of people are afraid of.
Okay.
It's basically the no, I don't want to say the official Republican Party platform, but it's basically all these big organizations that fund the Republican Party. So they're obviously probably going to adopt some of these policies.
NRA.
Yeah. Probably the NRA. I think the Heritage Foundation is a big one of them as well. But anyway, they created this big document. They call it Project 2025. And in this big document is laid out a strategy for what they want to do within the first 100 days of a Republican presidency.
Yes.
And in this document is some really scary shit, which is basically like, as soon as the Republican president gets in, then we're gonna immediately do all these really scary things, like basically destroy the quote unquote deep state, which would basically be taking down all of our administrative organizations, like the IRS, like the what are some other those ones that the Department of Education, they want to dismantle that?
Well, I mean, that should go. That's horrible.
You don't like the Department of Education?
I don't like that. No, I don't.
No, tell me more.
Well, they let us get completely financially groped by loans.
Oh, I guess that's true.
So they kind of just let it happen.
Well, I highly doubt they would forgive your loans. The Project 2025 people.
Oh, I don't mean them. They're clearly not going to do that. They're not forgiving anything.
No, literally, they're going to force the money out of you, actually.
Yeah, and then they're going to say I can't be alive because I'm gay.
Oh, I mean, that's probably in Project 2025
honestly,
as well.
they're probably right.
Oh, I think that they basically said defund every administrative body that we have except for the military within Project 2025 or something like that. And they want to, in the departments that they're keeping, they want to take out all the leaders and replace them with Trump loyalists, etc., etc. I'm not privy to the exact details.
Are you not part of the Republican Party? Are you not in with them?
No. I'm an interloper with them.
Yeah.
No, but people are talking a lot about Project 2025, at least in the realm of TikTok and what I've seen. And they're using it as kind of like, I don't want to say a fear-mongering tactic, but that's what it kind of seems like. To try to energize people to vote against Trump again in 2024. It's not working though, I don't think.
Well,
it's not working very well.
I don't think any sort of negative reinforcement is the way to go.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to galvanize voters, I think you should talk about the things that you're going to give them. Like, don't say, the Republicans are going to ban abortion. Say the Democrats are going to protect your right to choose. So by voting, you are getting something out of it. Not the fear of loss. I think that's not a way to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel the Democratic Party needs to up its game a little bit in terms of offering, messaging. Yeah. They need to tout their victories and the things that they have done, because they're not very good at that.
But what did they do?
Exactly. I don't know.
Well,
no, I know they have done things. Like we've talked about them before on the podcast, but like the fact that I can't remember them.
Yeah, someone brought coke into the White House.
What?
Someone brought cocaine into the White House.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
And they never found whose it was.
But yeah, the fact that I would reliably vote Democrat and the fact that I can't remember their victories, I think kind of says something. And also, like, this whole Israel-Palestine thing is kind of taking over the political sphere right now.
Oh. You want to talk about it?
We can.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's not funny. This is horrible. It's just horrible.
Oh no, it's not funny, but laughing is a coping mechanism for me. So I'll laugh at anything.
Yeah. I mean, when I told you all my deepest, darkest, you just started laughing at me.
I don't remember that happening.
Well, I repressed it. I made you repress it. Anyway.
Interesting.
So I'm not the most well-read when it comes to this topic. From what I've gleaned from the situation, it's that a lot of people are dying, which I don't like.
Yeah.
And the Palestinians have just been sort of getting the shit end of the stick for quite a while.
Oh, very much so, yeah.
And it's sort of, I mean, obviously not good, but it's sort of interesting to see the United States and I said Dr. Biden, Dr. Biden, or his wife, and President Biden, support Israel through all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the best look.
No, and I think this goes back to saying, like, you're trying to get people to vote for you in a 2024 election.
Yeah.
And here you are not doing much better in this situation than your opponent would probably do either.
Yeah.
So, and this is a hot topic for a lot of people.
The amount of people I've spoken to about this, and it's always a contentious conversation. It's always charged. Like, you cannot have a normal conversation about this. It is, you are at one extreme or you're at the other extreme. And when they meet in conversation, it ends friendships, it ends bonds. It's horrible.
Oh yeah. And you know what's funny about it? Not funny actually, but
yeah. Tell me what's funny about
interesting about it is that this has always been a contentious issue. Like, going back to the 2000s, the 1990s, even further back, it's always been kind of like really contentious thing to bring up ever.
Yeah.
Like the last time that there was kind of a conflict between Israel and Palestine, I think it was back a couple of years ago when we were doing the podcast, and we basically said, like, look, we don't know a lot about this situation at all, so we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And now I think I'm more well versed on the situation now. I think I've done my homework.
You've done the research.
I don't want to say I've done research. I
don't know. Did you pretend to Google it? What are you?
No, I've listened to some video essays, which again may not be. It depends on who you're listening to and what kind of sources you're listening to.
Yeah.
So I think I have a more general understanding of the conflict than I would have a few years ago when we talked about this.
Yes.
And here's what I have to say. Free Palestine. That's what I have to say.
Well, there you go. I mean, I think if people are wondering, like, people like me or worse off where they know nothing about this, I think a safe bet is to just not just blindly side with someone, but I saw this figure, which there's a lot of bad graphs being thrown around and a lot of bad information being thrown around, but I did see a figure that I think was accurate. I think, but it's like, just if you just want to look at ignoring the politics, which you really shouldn't do, but if you just want to ignore the politics at the death toll, the Palestinians are being disproportionately killed more so.
Oh yeah, way more.
At the end of the day, can we just say that the death should really stop, specifically for the Palestinians who are dying at a much higher rate, please?
I think that when I take a bird's eye view of this conflict,
why are you stealing bird's eyes? That's creepy.
I was at the aviary the other day,
and you stole a bird's eye.
Stole the eyes. I was feeling really, demonic that day. The devil was in me, the gay. Anyway,
the bottoms up and the devil laughs.
When you take a bird's eye view of this conflict, I think it's really clear that one side is a well-funded government with aid from all these other powerful nations, for example, the United States.
Yeah.
They have one of the most powerful militaries in the world.
Yeah.
And then you have the other side, which
doesn't.
doesn't have any of that.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking like, oh, people talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict, making it sound like it's a two-sided conflict.
It's
This
really
is not a
not.
two-sided conflict.
Yeah.
It's very much a one-sided conflict where one
Group.
country, not even a group, one government. Because I don't want to talk bad about Israeli people in general, because I don't
Oh,
feel
of
that way about
course.
Israeli people.
Of course.
But it's clear that the Israeli government is the oppressor in this situation, and the Palestinian people are the people being oppressed. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is coming from a bird's eye view of the conflict. We don't even have to get into the details to just understand that, looking at the death tolls, looking at what's going on right now,
Yeah.
you can get a base understanding of, who's the one in charge here and who isn't.
Yeah. And we're not going to demonize a whole group of people for the actions of a few of them, because that's you should never do that.
No, we never want to do that.
Yeah.
We've spoken out about that multiple times. For example, hello?
My dogs are barking. Please excuse them.
Who's is it Kai Ace san?
It's all of them. They're all barking.
But yeah, when Trump did this, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Mexicans are rapists and they're all murderers and drug addicts and they're
Your
bringing
words.
drugs across the border." No, Trump's words.
Yeah, his words too.
We all said, "Yo, you can't say that about all Mexican people, because like even if it's just a few of them, that doesn't condemn everybody." And then when Trump did the Muslim ban, and we were all like, you're condemning all these Muslim people for the actions of a few people.
Yes.
And we all spoke out about it against that. But now when it comes to this Israel-Palestine conflict, probably some of those same people are out there now saying, oh yeah, it's fine to bomb the Palestinians, even though it was just a few of them who did the bad thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Like this did happen, but it shouldn't have happened. Like when 9/11 happened, people would just demonize the whole Middle East. And it's like, well, that's not what's happening here.
Oh yeah.
Like a whole country didn't decide to be a dick. It was a select few people in said country that decided to be a dick.
Yeah. I just I just think it's a very I think it's interesting that it's so contentious to talk about when
I know.
Yeah, and there is a lot of disinformation being thrown around. The Israeli government has been really good about pushing certain stories.
Yeah.
And people are falling for it. And in the age of disinformation and Twitter, now run by Elon Musk, just kind of letting it run rampant, I think it's easy to spread a story that isn't true. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's horrible. I think it's disgusting, and I also am not that I'm tired of seeing it. Like, ugh, get it away from me. I'm tired that it's a conversation that people need to be convinced, like, in understanding.
Oh yeah, that people need to be convinced at this point that there should be a ceasefire or something like that.
Yeah, it's like it's maddening. It's
or
maddening.
That civilians should keep or stop dying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. I just want a dull news week. I want to like wake up and it's like, yeah, so we're down here at the zoo and the emus got out.
Emus.
Yeah, that's all I want. I don't want like, hey, this country just blew up. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah. And then we got the Australia emu war breaking out.
Oh my god, yeah. I want that's what I do want. That's
you want the emu war.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Speaking of anything else politics, do you have anything else in that sphere that you want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, they're gearing up for the election and shit like that. I'm not happy with Biden.
Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't.
So I might have to just look elsewhere, which I know for some of like the diehard liberals who are like entrenched in the Democratic Party, that might be like a oh no, but I'm like, oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
I think that Biden's got some work to do.
Yeah.
I think in a choice between Trump and Biden, I would still vote for Biden.
Oh, of course, between the two of them. But
yeah, but in a primary, which I am a registered Democrat,
Yeah.
In a primary, I have to see when the voting dates are. I would probably vote for someone other than Biden. We got this new guy, Dean Phillips. I got to look into him.
Yeah.
See what's going on there. We also we have Marianne Williamson, which
we have Miss Crystal.
Miss Crystal's got to look into her, see what she's saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not too fond of Biden right now, especially after this Israel-Palestine foreign policy position that he's taken. And I don't know. I feel like Trump is just kind of skidding by, getting away with all this nonsense that he's involved in.
Yes.
He's got a fraud trial coming up soon, though, so let's see if that bears any fruit.
I don't think anything's gonna stick.
Oh, nothing.
It never does. These fucking faggots are just so slimy that nothing ever sticks to them. It just slides right off.
Slimy faggots. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what Trump is. What if we just spread a rumor that Trump was like a huge homosexual?
Oh my god. Okay, we can go into what's new with the gays. Oh my god, this was so sad. I forgot about this until you just said that.
What?
There
Trump's
was
so
a
gay?
No.
Oh, what happened?
This just happened like a few days ago. There was a mayor in Alabama
Okay.
who was apparently secretly like a drag queen.
Oh. Okay.
But he was like this big conservative mayor. And then people found out about him being a drag queen. He was very swiftly condemned by like everyone. And then a few later, he committed suicide. And I was just like, oh, that goes to show, I think, how terrible the rhetoric around the LGBT community has gotten recently. That you could go so quickly, like within a couple of days, to extreme condemnation of somebody over something like being a drag queen.
Yeah.
And then just it terrible. Anyway, that's the bad gay news that I have.
Okay, wow. Let me just Google that really quick. Yeah, Alabama mayor dies of apparent suicide days after what Well,
yeah.
That's unfortunate. I think this has to. Okay, this is sort of related to the whole Israel-Palestine thing a little bit. I saw some conversations about queer people existing in Israel, and like the post was I think from that guy Matt on like Instagram, that one gay guy talking about like being queer in Israel and being queer elsewhere, and like why this is also a queer issue, the whole Israel-Palestine thing, because there are queer people there who are suffering. And someone was like, yeah, well, we don't even know how many queer people there are there. Like there could be like very minimal people to no people. Like who cares? Like why is this an issue? And I don't like how a repressed group of people, let's say queer people, aren't given the time of day when some bad shit happens that doesn't necessarily affect their queerness. So, for example, this whole issue in Israel and Palestine, it's not really a queer issue, and people just write it off. But if you have a conversation about it, those people do exist there, whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah.
They
could be in the closet.
They could be in the closet. They could be just, that statistic isn't readily available to know exactly how many people are there. But
yeah,
they probably, honestly, may be in the closet because of certain conservative factors that lead them to feel it's unsafe to be out of the closet. Like this person who clearly was in the closet, wasn't public about this sort of part of their life. And then when it becomes public, it's like, it could be world ending. And that's just because we live in a shitty world where conservative values dominate and forces people who are othered to stay away and not be themselves. And then when they do get outed, you get shit like this. It's just horrible.
I saw an interesting take on the whole Israel-Palestine queer people thing.
Yes.
A lot of people on the interwebs were saying like, oh, or they were calling to the queer community to be like, hey, you should support Israel because Israel supports queer rights as opposed to Palestine, which you could die there for being gay. Like they killed the gay people that are there.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that is a very interesting way to take things. But I also saw another take, which I agree with, and it's that when you I don't want to when you oppress a group of people, and you force these people into fear. My belief is that when you're afraid of other people, of other things, of constantly being oppressed by a group of people, that causes you to have conservative values.
Sure.
Because you are trying to conserve, you are trying to you kind of build a coalition with people that are like you, and you build a dislike of people that are not like you because you're like, they're oppressing me, blah blah blah. I think that creates conservative values. But that doesn't mean, just because a group of people may be more conservative, that doesn't mean that we should advocate for killing them.
Well, yeah, I it's, no one should die based on belief, really. Like, I don't think that's like someone's belief should not predetermine them to death. I think that's a pretty common or a very easy thing to want. Like,
Yeah.
just because someone believes in something that maybe you don't agree on, it shouldn't be something that they could be killed for.
Yeah.
But of course, that's like every conflict ever. It's just two groups of people with different ideologies killing each other.
Yeah. And I think there's been a repeat of this, I would say, throughout history. For example, after 9/11 in the US, I would say that there was a conservative bump amongst Americans once 9/11 happened, because we
Yeah.
felt afraid of the Arab world. We felt afraid of those people. And then so we like kind of had this rally around the flag, impact, very pro-America, America first. I feel like that a lot of that kind of stemmed from the post 9/11 feeling.
Yeah.
So I do think that when people become afraid of other groups of people, that does spark conservative values, and that could
Yeah.
explain Palestine situation as well. And it's just sad because when I think that when you have right-wing groups of people, when you have right-wing views, that leads to the othering of people that are not like you.
Yes.
And then queer people will face the brunt of that damage. And also, minority populations, other minority populations will also take the brunt of that damage. It's just a sad, I think, cycle.
Yeah. And you know what? It's never ending.
It is never ending, but we can only hope that things will get better.
Let's talk about let's celebrate that. Let's talk about Troye Sivan dressing as a woman.
Okay.
So obviously, did you see it?
I saw the video. Yes.
Okay,
I
you
did.
watched
I
you
did in
watched the
fact see the
video, or
video.
just watched like a clip of it? Like, what are we working with?
Oh, did I actually see I think I saw the full video. I think I did.
Great. Did you did it stir something up in you?
In what way?
Anyway.
I liked the song. I
Yeah.
thought it was a bop. But I wouldn't say it stirred anything up in me, no.
Well, I like some of Troy's music, so I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
The outfit, though, I saw some stuff online about it, and I think most of it's positive. I saw an interesting, not take, just an interesting comment. Mostly, people were saying that Troye Sivan was doing drag, and I was listening to a drag podcast, and one of them commented, "Is like, he's not really in drag. He's cross dressing, but he's not a drag queen. Like, there's a difference there. Like, it's not." Drag is like this sort of elevated, amplified version of like femininity, especially if you're talking about drag queens, not drag kings. If you're talking about drag queens, it's like this sort of hyperbolic femininity or hyperbolic idea of what womanhood is, or dressing as a woman is. And it also usually comes with some sort of persona, like a drag queen has a different name, blah, blah, blah. It performs. And also, a lot of times with the drag queens, it's particularly in the makeup or in the style of dress, it's sort of like not garish, but it is like it's a lot. It's more than a normal person, a normal cisgendered woman would wear, obviously. Troye Sivan's giving you just what looks like a cisgendered woman. Like, it just looks like a stereotypical woman. you know,
like trying to present as a literal woman,
a
as opposed
literal
to a
woman.
hyperbolic woman.
Yeah, so I just thought that was an interesting take. I mean, I'm not a drag queen. I can't determine what is and what is not drag, but I heard a drag queen talk about it, and I thought it was interesting because he just looks like a woman. It's the makeup is like minimal and it's like pristine, and he's just in a, you know, a sort of skimpy-ish outfit. And it's still lovely.
Right.
I loved it either way. I didn't really care. I just thought that was like the one interesting conversation that I took away from it, because for the most part, I think people like his music. I think people like this album. It's very gay album. It's very gay love album.
I know. I loved it. And have you ever wanted to be
a woman?
A woman? What's the song called? It's like
Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain.
No, what does he say in the song? He's like, "Oh, if you're feeling lonely, then I'll be here," or something like that.
Yeah, isn't it like I can be whatever you want? That kind of
thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that way for a straight man?
For a straight man?
Well, I thought that's what the song is about. It's
like,
yeah.
I mean, I've liked. Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I liked a straight guy. Although I found out later he may not have been completely straight, but he lived straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not anymore. When I was younger, yeah, because when you're younger, like you don't know what you want. When you're younger, you change yourself to be with other people. You'll like bend over backwards to be with people. You'll modulate your own persona to be with them. And at the end of the day, you shouldn't have to do that, because the person that wants you the most that you should be with is the person that's not going to want you to change. And that's T on period, sis. So fuck anyone.
Absolutely slay work.
Not just straight men. Any person that you're interested in, if they want you to like be something that you don't want to be, that's not yourself, fuck them. Not literally, unless you want to fuck them and then like leave them. You can do that. But like, don't be with them. That sounds awful. Like, you should find the person that looks at you, sees what you are, gay, straight, or bi, lesbian, transgender, like whatever Lady Gaga said in that one song.
Yeah.
The person should look at you and go, I want to just be with you as you are. And if you can find that person,
and I want to ride on your disco stick,
I'll have some fun. Lady Gaga song, this beat is sick. Yeah.
That's the second time we've said disco stick in this episode, I think.
When did we say it the first time?
Unless we said it beforehand. I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway,
I think that was like the most queer thing that really happened recently was although I saw Reneé Rapp.
Oh, queer Maria.
Which is neither of her names, by the way.
No.
I saw.
How was Reneé Rapp?
Queer woman, lovely, great live singer, great live performer. She was doing a little like gay matchmaking thing where she was like you, and then pointed to some, I guess, I believe a lesbian woman or a woman, but I assume. She pointed to someone. I didn't actually see. Context clues made me believe it was a lesbian woman. And she's like, all right, we're going to find you someone. And, hello? Oh, and then she looked around the audience. She's like, you want to be with her for the whole night? How about you guys just hang out for the show? And then the girl shuffles over and she goes, what? What did you say? And she goes, oh, we have to find someone else? Oh, you're not even 18 yet. Oh, yeah, we need to find someone else for you. You can hang out as a friend, but you can't be her lover tonight. Oh. And yeah, it was funny, but she's great. Loved it.
Oh, no, they cannot be together. No.
Unless they were also below 18, in which case, whatever.
Yes, it still depends, I think, on the age difference.
There was a lot of women.
I love that.
A lot of gay men, and probably some straight men that the straight girls, their boyfriends that they brought along. And then there was this one twink there.
Was it you?
No, because I'm gonna say he looked 16, and I don't look 16. Oh. He looked like a baby, but he was with this older man. So at first I was like, is that a father-son duo at Reneé Rapp? But the way the older man held him, I was like, that's not how your dad should hold you. Mm-hmm. That's not holding you in a God-fearing way.
Daddy.
I'm sorry, not holding you in a God-honoring way.
Right.
So I looked around. I was with my friend Joe, and I said, I think... But Joe was like, but it's like an 18 event because there's alcohol. Like, it's an 18-plus event. And I was like, I think he just looks young. Because that's his daddy, I think. And he was like, maybe. And I was like, that's interesting.
I mean, I look back at pictures of myself at 18, and I'm like, that's a baby. That's a baby right there.
Also, I was walking down the street. I was walking from 9th to 10th on 54th Street, and there was a man on the sidewalk bleeding everywhere.
Oh, very interesting.
But they arrested the man that hit him, so that was good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Was it you who hit him?
No. I just didn't want to step in his blood.
No, great.
Yeah.
Well, good to know.
Good to know.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Anything else gay?
Just me.
Same.
Yeah.
You want to do a could you, should you real quick?
Yeah.
All right. When I had written this, it was, I think it was last week or the week before when I had written this one, because I was going for a Halloween theme.
Mm-hmm.
So Marry, Fuck, Kill, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Ghostface.
Oh, easy. I'm gonna kill Freddy.
Okay.
I'm gonna fuck Michael. I'm gonna marry Ghostface.
You're gonna fuck Michael?
I'm gonna fuck Michael, that big fucking dumb man. Oh, I'm gonna fuck him. Oh, take that hateful dick.
Oh, dumb himbo Mike Myers.
Yes. Oh. And you know I'm marrying Ghostface because he'd have great phone sex with that little voice modulator.
Oh, yeah.
I'd want it every day of the year, not just Halloween. He'll make me scream.
Oh, I think I would give the same answer actually as you. I think so.
Because Freddy with those hands, those knife
Freddy's
hands.
Creepy.
He's gonna cut. He's gonna what? That sashimi my cock with it? Like, you just cut my cock? Like, what are we gonna do?
He's gonna scratch up your back.
He's
definitely.
like, hey, can I give you a hand job? We're like, no. God,
lice it up real good. He'll be really good at making you dinner though, because you could chop up the vegetables real quick.
Girl, I could do that myself. I don't need a man.
Work.
I'm in the kitchen making a salad for Ghostface.
Okay. Well,
after Michael Myers laid me out with that big dick of his.
Okay. So, you know what? His dick is probably huge.
His beer
it's
can.
Probably massive.
Beer can. You ever see those 99-cent Arizona iced tea cans?
Oh, yeah.
It's that hateful. Hateful dick.
That's what makes it girthy. Hatred.
It's anger. The dick is angry at me. Angry dick. Okay, I'll think of one. Hold on.
All right, give it to me.
Okay. Would you rather? Oh, here we go. Would you rather be a penguin?
Okay.
Or
just
a seagull?
What's the second one? Sorry.
Or a seagull.
Okay. Just like I'm forever that now.
Yeah. Well, until you die.
Do I maintain my regular level of intelligence, or do I inherit a penguin or a seagull brain?
Let's say you still know who you are.
Okay. Then I think I guess that I would be a seagull.
All right,
because then I could fly. That'd be fun.
True.
I don't think penguins can fly, right?
No, they cannot fly. No.
Yeah, I think I'd be a seagull then, because they could fly.
Okay.
And I could steal fries from people on the boardwalk. Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Oh, I always get my funnel cake stolen from them when I go to the beach.
Yeah, that's me. Think of me next time.
Oh my God, you're like the bird that is Erin's like reincarnated self is the bird.
Oh my God.
Helps Mikasa put the scarf around her.
Oh, would you fuck me as a seagull? Me as... No.
Keep going.
No, I'm not
You
gonna
as
bring
a
that
penguin.
in. Me as a penguin, or me as the bird that Eren gets reincarnated into.
I would fuck you as a penguin.
Okay.
It's the most like human shaped.
Mm-hmm.
A friend told me that I don't know how true this is. Zebras wouldn't make good like horses, like rideable creatures, because zebras don't form like familial connections as well as horses. So like when you tame a horse, there's a good chance the horse just thinks that you're like a weirdly shaped horse that it has to listen to.
I kind of love that.
And the zebras don't have that sort of connection. They don't have that sense of community as much, so they're not as tameable in that way. So like my friend was like, do dogs just look at us and think that we're weird shaped dogs?
I think that dogs know that we're humans. I think I've read that, but I think I've also read that cats think that we're just big cats. I'm not
like
sure.
how do they know? They're so dumb.
Oh, dogs or cats?
Yes. Yes.
Hang on. I had thought that domestic horses were different than wild horses. Hang on.
Well, I'm sure, but I think they're the same like species, probably.
I probably because I guess no wait. Equus ferus cabilis is a domesticated one-toed hoofed animal. Is a wild horse a separate horse?
I don't know.
Hang on, I'm looking it up. A wild horse. Oh no, the modern domesticated horse is a subspecies of the wild horse. Okay, so then they are the same species. Yes.
Different subspecies.
Different subspecies. Anyway,
Did
I'm
you
over it.
know that this is what I'll end? I'll give you a little crumb, a little nugget.
Yeah.
Below the species level, it gets so murky.
Yeah.
Because there are things like subspecies, strains, cultivars, pathovar, phylotypes. Like there are just like these small, very small ways to delineate between two things that are considered the same species. And I will let you know that I hate every single one of them.
Oh,
I think it does
Okay.
nothing for the taxonomical placement of these fucking organisms, and I hate it.
well, because at some point, like everything kind of blends together at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's not like you can draw a fine line between things. It's more of like, evolution happens gradually over time and with minuscule changes.
Yeah.
At what point? Because I guess our taxonomy is, we socially constructed it.
Yes.
We're just making shit up.
Oh my god, I love doing that.
Because look at different dogs. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all the same quote unquote species of dog, but they look so different that you're
Different
like,
breeds.
exactly.
Breed
How the
me,
fuck?
mom.
How the fuck did we breed dogs so differently to look so differently, but then they be the same species?
Do you often breed your dog?
No. No, I don't. How about you?
Get bread. When I say get this bread, I'm not talking about the loaf of pastry.
I thought that phrase was used colloquially to refer to money.
I'm not talking about that either.
Okay, what are you
I'm talking about getting bread.
Okay, I think it's time. I think it's time to end this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think we did it.
We did it. We've been gone for so long.
Yeah, we just had to flex a little bit, shake the rust off, put some
Yeah.
oil on it, oil
And
me
you
up.
know what? Hopefully, for those who have made it this far in the podcast, hopefully we are planning to get back to a bi-weekly schedule.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly? Yeah. Schedule of the Watch the Gays Thing podcast. So you could expect every other week to get one of these episodes on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we're working on the schedule for all of our other stuff. We're hoping to get back to streaming soon. And Under Queer Review will make an appearance as well. So
an appearance, yeah.
An appearance. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone for listening or watching this episode of What Did the Gays Think? Speaking of Under Queer Review, go ahead and check that out. It's a podcast hosted by me, Pat here, and also the lovely Jackie.
Who's dying?
Who's dying right now with COVID. Oh yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah.
But anyway, in that podcast, we review the latest and greatest in queer media and determine if it passes our queer review.
Yes.
Check that one out wherever you download podcasts. There's also a link in the description. Follow us on all of our socials. Go ahead and click that link in the description. We have, Twitter or X or whatever. We have Instagram. We have all those socials. So go ahead and follow us there.
We do.
Follow our Twitch. I think our schedule is going to be every Tuesday soon.
Yeah.
So go ahead and follow us to get those notifications when we go live. And also join our Discord server if you so choose. So again, the link is in the description. Thanks again, everybody. And I am MacLeod.
And I was touched by a budgie.
Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye.